Hare Krishna everyone. So welcome to the class of level 3, and today we are going to study about nectar of instruction text 3. So we have got through the introduction part, the preface, and nectar of instruction text 1 and 2 in the previous 2-3 classes, and today is text 3. So we are going to deal with this today. And this is not just a class where you hear. You should be interactive, and you should answer the questions very regularly when I ask some of the questions. So we'll just go through the recap what we have studied in the previous classes. So in the preface, what we have learned. So you can just raise your hand when I ask some questions or anything. So this book, as usual, we know that we recap every day, every week, that this book was written by, actually it's a compilation of the instructions given by Rupa Goswami to Jiva Goswami. So it's called Nectar of Instruction. So we should always try to, theoretically we know this, but we should practically apply in our day-to-day life when we do devotional service, so that we advance in the devotional service. So this is the part of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Okay, so what is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? You can raise your hands.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It is the when the instructions are given, rules and regulations by our guru, and we follow them, then that sadhana is called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti.
Yes.
Then we do sadhana as per the rules.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. By doing the sadhana, that is through the instruction, Vaidhi, that means the rules and regulations. Very nice. So it is another type of sadhana bhakti. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, another type. Yes, Mataji.
Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti.
Yes. And what is it? Meaning
it is a spontaneous love for Krishna.
Spontaneous love for Krishna. Very nice. It comes by following Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, that you ultimately spontaneously it comes by practicing. It becomes a habit to you. That's Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. That two types of bhakti. Another one that is after that comes is Sadhana Bhakti, and then Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, right? These two things. And these will be dealt in the 9th shloka and the 11th shloka. So yeah, these things. So in the text 1, anybody remembers the text 1 shloka? Kantastha. Aarti Mataji.
Mataji, it's Vacho Vegam, Manasakrodha Vegam, Jivva Vegam, Udarupastha Vegam, Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Diraha, Sarvam Apimam Prithvim Sashishyat.
Yes, very nice, Mataji. Can anybody tell the meaning of this shloka? The text mantra, shloka of first text. Some new hands. Sujit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. A person who can tolerate the urge to speak and control the anger and control the demands from the mind and control the urge of the tongue, belly and the genitals.
Yes.
That person is qualified to make the disciples in the entire world.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. So Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam, Etan Vetan, Vishaheta Dira Sarvamapiman Prithvimsa Shishyat. So we've gone through this shloka and how by controlling the mind and senses, it's very necessary to advance in spiritual life. Because our mind is like a monkey and senses are like horse. They just go anywhere and anytime. So we have to try. We have to try to control it, and it just becomes and it's a part of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, that we control our senses and urges of our senses and mind. So a person who has mastered in all of these things, all the sense control, so he can become the guru to the entire world. So that means he is liberated person, right? One who is not controlled by, he is Goswami, right? We deal with this term Goswami in the first text. We came to know what is Goswami, right? So that is the thing. And he is a Goswami. A guru is basically a Goswami because he is the controller of his senses. He's not controlled. See, one person who's controlled by his own senses cannot give you guidance properly, right? We dealt with this thing also. One whose mind is uncontrollable, we can't trust such a person. So how can we trust a guru whose mind is not controlled? So our senses are not controlled. So that's the thing. We deal with the first text of controlling the 6 urges. Then we came to the text 2. Anybody can tell the shloka? Dikshit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha laulyam cha sadbir bhaktir vinashyati.
Atyahara prayasascha. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. That one thing. Because every word has one meaning. So Atyahara prayasascha. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Atyahara prayasascha. Anybody can give me the meaning of this shloka? What is Atyahara? What is prayasascha? Saurabh Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. So,
Hare Krishna.
yeah, Hare Krishna. So it means there are if the person is entangled into any of the activities, just like eating more than necessary, or maybe collecting more funds than required, right? Then means involved into mundane things which are very, very difficult to obtain, and also no speech, no control on the speech.
Yes.
Speech control should be there, and then there is a practicing means the scriptures just for the sake of practicing, but not accepting them, and then and they are they are associating with people who are not in Krishna consciousness, and just running after the mundane achievements which are like karmis. So I think.
And what will happen if we do this? These all things. What will happen to our devotional service?
So again, we'll be entangled by the Mahamaya, and again we will be running away from Krishna consciousness. We'll fall from Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So yeah, as Prabhu told the meaning of this. So we already are in Mahamaya. Okay, we are not that just by chanting I'm in Krishna consciousness. Not like that. We are in Mahamaya. We are captured by Maya. Just that now we are trying to swim and get out of this material world, and we are trying to grab the rope, that is Guru Parampara, and going back by the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And if we do these things, which Saurabh Prabhu just now mentioned, all these things, we are trying to grab the rope and go up. And if we do these things, we just slip from there, because we are not holding the devotional service tightly. We are just taking it as a granted. Oh, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, here I can go for a movie or party or something like that, and we are just taking it for grant. Oh, Prabhupada just told like this, maybe we are just taking it for grant. We are not holding the rope tightly, and what will happen? We'll slip down again. So we are trying to go up, and then these things are vinashyati, destroy our devotional service. That means in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, as we told, we are following the rules and regulations, right? Why we are following rules and regulations? Because we are not capable to go directly. So through rules and regulation given by acharyas, we are going to Krishna. So if we are not following the rules and regulation, and if we are doing activity which opposes the rules and regulation, then we will just fall down. We'll slip again to this material world. So we are in this material world, but material consciousness will fall down. So now we are trying to elevate our consciousness towards devotional service, towards Krishna. That's what Krishna consciousness is. But suddenly when we do all these things which are vinashyati, speaking mundane topics or listening to mundane topics or going to a mundane place, then we'll just fall down. So that's what we should not do in devotional service, or we should not do these activities which are which are not favorable towards devotional service. Okay, I'll just share the screen. Okay, text 2, and these things we discussed, and in text 3 what we are going to discuss, let's just see. So 6 principles are given that can help us in progress. Just now what we saw, that was vinashyati, right, which will make us slip down from going back to Krishna, or we are just not going forward. So what will help us in going forward? Now these things will destroy a devotional service. So what will progress me in devotional service? That may be the question, right? Now, if these things will destroy, then what will be the progress? How can I progress in devotional service or go forward in devotional service? So before discussing them, Srila Rupa Goswami explains what pure devotional service is and in what way the fosters spiritual progress rather than material engagement. In what way we can go forward in devotional service. So this is a shloka. Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyaga sato vritte shadbhir bhaktir prasidyati. Okay, what was the last word over there? Vinashyati. And those things, those 6 things we're destroying, and these 6 things are increasing or progressing towards devotional service. If you do these 6 things properly in your life in the devotional service, then there is a thing that you will go forward into the devotional service. Okay, so these things, that is utsaha nishchaya dhairya. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyaga sato vritte shadbhir bhaktir prasidyati. I'm repeating this again and again so that you can come to know how it is pronounced. Okay, so these things. So what is the meaning of it? Let's see. So there are 6 principles which are favorable to execution of pure devotional service. Okay, in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, there are 6 things which will make you progress. So we understood the 6 things which will not make you progress or which will take you down in devotional service. Now, these are the 6 things which will make you progress in devotional service. What are they? That is utsaha, being enthusiastic. Okay, we'll deal with this in a separate slides in detail. We'll just go through the brief. Okay, being enthusiastic. Now, being enthusiastic here means that you should be enthusiastic in doing any devotional service towards the Lord. Okay, devotional service is just not imaginary or emotional thing. Most of the people say, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance in ecstasy, people used to tell he's just a bauka. That means he's just a emotional person. That's not the thing. They are enthusiastic in doing any devotional service, and there are this is the favorable thing. Okay, we have enthusiasm in so many things, right? When we have enthusiasm, we do our activity perfectly. So that's how enthusiasm can in devotional service we should be enthusiastic. Next is enduring with confidence. That is nishchayat. You should have confidence that if I do devotional service to Krishna, how can I please Krishna? How can I please Prabhupada? And according to Shastra, if I do, then there will be there will be a progress in my devotional service. That kind of a confidence should be there. And being patient, that is dhairyat. You should be patient. Today I'll chant Hare Krishna and tomorrow I'll get ecstasy. That's not possible. We are just here like 1 year, 2 year, maybe 2.5 year more, right? We are progressing like anything, but then we should have patience in us. Sometimes we may think, oh, I have come through Krishna consciousness 2 years and I'm just I have become a great devotee. That's not. You should have patience. You still don't know so many things in Krishna consciousness, so we should have patience. We will see Krishna one day, but then till then we should have patience. We should have confidence in the Krishna consciousness movement. We should have confidence in Prabhupada's statements. We should have confidence. That is the previous thing, nishchaya. We should have nishchay. We should have confidence in this process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one day it will take me back to Godhead. That kind of a consciousness and that kind of a faith is needed, and that much patience is also needed, right? So that is discussed. We'll discuss these things in detail. So before then, if you have any doubts, please note it in your notebook, and in the end you can ask. Don't ask in the middle, because we have not completely understood the concept till now. So once we go through all the slides slowly by slowly, you can come to know whatever doubts where there may be, you get the answers in the session itself, so you can note it down there. Okay, so acting according to the regulative principle. What is this? Tatat karma pravartanat. So acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, that is hearing, chanting and remembering, right? All of this. There are Navavidha Bhakti, right? What are those Navavidha Bhakti? Can anybody tell me? Dikshit Prabhuji.
Yeah. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Dasyam, Atmanivedanam. So, hearing and chanting, Pada Sevana, so remembering Krishna and remembering Krishna always about his lotus feet, and Archanam, Arti to the Lord, Vandanam, so praying to the, so being as a servant to the Lord and being as a friend to the Lord, and if you have to completely surrender to the Lord, Mataji. So these are the 9 types of bhakti.
Okay. Yes. Is my voice breaking? How is it?
It's clear, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I'm sorry, I'm really. Okay, so we can just continue. So that is Tattat Karma Pravartanat. Okay, so Tattat Karma Pravartanat, as Dikshit Prabhu told, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam, Dasyam Sakyam Nivedanam. Okay, so these are the 9 Navavidha Bhakti. So when we follow these Navavidha Bhakti, then it's very easy for us to, it helps us in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So we are doing, right, a chanting of the holy name of the Lord, or any of these things. Navavidha Bhakti. So when we follow these things, so what happens? Our Bhakti, that means the devotional service, gets advanced. We get advanced in devotional service. So what is next? Tattat Karma Pravartanat Sangha Tyaga. Now there is Sangha Tyaga, right? Last in the previous class, what we discussed was about the association with the worldly minded people. So now the same thing is repeated again here, abandoning the association of non-devotees. So let's see how we can abandon this association of non-devotees, because we are in this world where full of non-devotees are only there, full of atheistic people, atheistic minded people, or materialistic karmi people, and all such people are there. So how we can abandon, right? We have to live. If my boss is an atheist, but I have to work under him for my livelihood, right? My boss may be atheist, my boss may be a karmi, my boss may be like a Mayavadi person, but I have to work under him. So how can I abandon the association? Let's see how we can do it. And last is Satovritti, that is following the footstep of previous acharyas. And these 6 principles are undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So these things are very important in progress in devotional service. So in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, which is Nectar of Devotion book, which we are going to deal in the end of this course. So that book, in that book, the first this thing, it is said there that what is the definition of devotional services. So before understanding, as I said, Rupa Goswami gives us the definition of the devotional service in Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. So the ocean of the devotion, nectar of devotion. So let's first understand about what actually the devotional service is. Then we will go through how we can improve this devotional service. So first is Anyabilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttama. Anyabilashita Shunyam. Okay, here Uttama Bhakti, that means the pure devotional service, unalloyed devotional service is described by Rupa Goswami here. What actually the devotional service, what actually the Uttama Bhakti is. Uttama means the best or the purest. How we can do Uttama Bhakti. Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Uttama Bhakti is described here. First is that Anyabilashita Shunyam. The devotee does not have any other desire than serving the Lord. So Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. There is no Anya Abhilashita. There is no Anya Abhilasha in his heart other than serving the Lord. That means whatever he sees, he tries to make it, how can I serve the Lord, not for his senses. I'm teaching now, or I'm doing this class, not for my sense gratification. Oh, I'll get so many people, I'll teach so many people, I'll become famous in front of them. Not for that sake. I'm doing this because we all together serve Srila Prabhupada together in this mission by understanding his books, by understanding his mood of the mission. So by understanding this together, so we can serve Srila Prabhupada more efficiently. And in that way, a preacher always tries to bring everyone under the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So we may not be a big preachers, but we can preach in our home, right? Whatever small service we have got, we can do that. And there is no desire for sense gratification in his heart. So we are not in that stage. We have to elevate to that stage. So this is Uttama Bhakti. Sometimes initially when we come to Krishna consciousness, when we when we do our service very good, or when we chant 16 rounds one day, suddenly one day I get this thing that I'll chant 16 rounds, and I complete chanting 16 rounds. I feel I'm a very good bhakta or very nice devotee. Then I come to know this is not the standard. The quality is the most important. Then I try to improve. And it is said that you should never be satisfied by your chanting, because once you're satisfied by your chanting, then you won't chant more. So to chant more, you should never be satisfied. And what is the more thing here? I'm not speaking about more in the sense of quantity. I'm speaking here in more chanting in the sense of quality of your chanting. Am I hearing the nama purifyingly, or just like a machine, I'm just chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, or I'm hearing the nama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? Am I hearing that or not? So that's the struggle of a devotee daily on this basis. So here it is said Anya Abhilashita. So we don't have any kind of abhilasha or any kind of sense gratification in the heart of a devotee, or any even bhakti mukti siddhi kami sakali ashanta, right? As I said, bhakta want this thing, kami wants what? His sense gratification, right? The materialistic person, he wants his sense to be gratified, sense gratification, right? And what about the siddhis? They want to get all kinds of asta siddhis. Prabhupada gives a big list what kinds of siddhis you will get when you do these kinds of tapasya. So Bhakta is not interested in that, because Krishna has all the yogic powers, right? Yeah, he said Yogeshwaro Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. What is Krishna said? He is Yogeshwara Krishna. You're doing yoga for your small siddhis. Krishna has unlimited siddhis. So when you do devotional service, you are not fear of anything. So for siddhis, they want some kind of the siddhas, they want some siddhis, right? Dhyana yoga, they put dhyana and meditate on the Lord and get some siddhis. But that's not the motivation of the devotee to do devotional service. Nor siddhi, bhukti, kami, and mukti, right? A person who is he wants liberation. But we saw that in the initially that devotees in Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, it is said that moksha lagkrit. That means even moksha is not is derived from by a devotee. Why? He does not want moksha. Moksha means inactivity. Once you go into the Brahman, there is nothing activity, no activity. You will fall down again. Some people think that is the ultimate, but that's not the ultimate. You will fall down again. So that's the thing. So that means Anya Abhilashita Shunya. He does not have any desire, neither bhakti, that means the bhokta as a materialistic thing, as a kami, or as a siddhi. He wants neither siddhis, neither moksha, neither mukti. He wants unlimited or unalloyed devotional service. Jnana karmadi anavritam. As I said, he does not want jnana. That means now what does that mean? He does not want jnana. Devotees have jnana. Devotees, they have jnana about the Lord, but only jnana is about impersonal jnana he has mentioned. So impersonal jnana means Lord has no form. But here, every scripture is shouting, saying that Lord has form. He is a person, right? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Aham, that means he, I am. I means a person there. So Krishna has a personality. That's why we call him the supreme personality of Godhead. He has personality. Prabhupada stresses this very much, that if you are saying Lord is impersonal, then you are insulting the Lord. Like somebody says and comes near you and tells, oh, you have no eyes, you're great. You have no legs, you're great. You have no hands, you're great. You have no mouth to speak, you're great. You have no ears to listen, you're great. Is that a praise or an insult to you? Insult, right? You feel insulted because I have everything. I have beautiful eyes, I have nose. Krishna has everything. Unlimited, transcendental. He has transcendental eyes. That's why we call it lotus eyes, lotus feet, lotus mouth, lotus hand. Everything is so beautiful in Krishna. Right? Venum Kvananta Varavinda Dalaya Taksham. This is actual jnana. The impersonalist, they praise the impersonal Brahman as if he does not have hands, legs. He's he's just a light. That's not the thing. He has a personality. So that is also not appreciated by a devotee. So Anukulena Krishnanushīlanam. So devotional service should be free from all extraneous motives and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and all selfish desires. So Uttama Bhakti or unalloyed devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, involves in rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. Now, what does favorable mean? So I will chant Hare Krishna. At the same time, I'll do all kinds of offenseful or which Krishna does not like. And where does Krishna says what he likes and what he does not like? How can I know that what Krishna likes and what Krishna does not like? Now here favorable and unfavorable is given. So how can I know that? What is favorable and what is unfavorable? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has told these all things, that what he likes, what he doesn't like.
Yes, the scriptures reveals
devotees
and Bhagavad Gita. Huh? What is it?
Yeah, what he likes, what he doesn't like, who mainly among the devotees, who are his devotees, whom he considered devotees.
Yes, everything is described. Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhu. Thank you, Ramesh Prabhuji. Yes. So here, as Prabhu told, that in Bhagavad Gita, not just in Bhagavad Gita, it is very, very, that's why we first learn Bhagavad Gita, because and that's very much important, because here the Lord himself speaks what to be done and what not to be done. And he says, we can't offer everything to Krishna. Right? Krishna is a personality. That means Krishna has likes and dislikes also. If I am a person, I have likes. I like this flavor. I don't like that. I like that. Right? I have a likes and dislikes. That is mundane likes and dislikes. But Krishna's likes and dislikes are transcendental. Whatever he says, it's favorable in Krishna consciousness. Whatever he likes. Now Krishna tells, or Krishna does not tell us directly. Through Guru and Shastra. As I said, right? Guru and Shastra. Shastra describes, the Vedas describes, the Bhagavatam describes what Krishna is, how Krishna is, what he likes, what he does not like, right? What kind of a devotional service we have to do. Yoginam upasarvesham, right? Amongst all the yogis, Bhakti yogi is favorable. Bhakta is most favorite to Krishna, right? He says he is very dear to Krishna, right? He says in Bhagavad Gita, right, what he accepts. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayashati tadaham bhakti uparatam ashnami prayatatma. I'll accept, he tells. Krishna tells he will accept if you offer these things, these 4 things in devotional service. So he tells what he will accept and what he does not accept. Right? So here, what is favorable and what is not favorable. Anukulena Krishna, which is anukula in Krishna consciousness, which is favorable in Krishna consciousness. When we do that, right? Now, Krishna does not tell us directly because we are not capable to hear him directly. So how does he come? If I'm not capable to hear Krishna, how does Krishna tells us what is to be done and what not to be done? One is Shastra, another one is Guru, the instructions, right? That is what Vedi Sadhana Bhakti is. Vedi Sadhana, that means following the instruction of the Guru, right? That is very important. So following the rules and regulations given by the Guru, like now Prabhupada tells morning sadhana is very important. Get up in the Mangalarati. We might feel it's not favorable. I used to get up in the 7 o'clock in the morning. Now suddenly Prabhupada is telling to get up me at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up and get ready for Mangalarati. I have to attend it. Oh my God, I can't do this. But still I'll do this because it is favorable in devotional service. That is how devotional service a devotee is. He thinks what is favorable and what is not favorable. He might like all kinds of tea and coffee and all this stuff, but then Krishna says or Acharya says these are intoxicants, you should leave this immediately. Although he may like it, he will leave it because it is not in favorable to Krishna consciousness. Some things are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, he has to leave it. Some things are favorable in Krishna consciousness, he has to accept it. So that is the thing said here. So next is Anu. That means here again the breakdown of some words are given. Anu means continuous, Shilana means cultivation. So here bhakti is a sort of cultivation. So Prabhupada says that it's an activity. So cultivation, what does cultivation means? It's an activity there. So bhakti is not an emotional thing or imaginary thing. Oh, I'll imagine the God's form is like that. No, Shastra tells you what kind of a form Krishna has. Barhapidam natavarvapum karnayo karnikanam, right? Krishna has a beautiful form. He wears a peacock in his crown. All these are described in 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Shastra reveals us what is who is Krishna, how can I do devotional service. It's an activity. You should do devotional service. It's not just a mental speculation like Mayavadis or other people do, or just meditating. That's not important. That's why we tell, chant loudly the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Some people they think themselves a great meditators and they start meditating in their mind, but our mind is not it's not in our control. And Arjuna says that it's very difficult to control the mind, Krishna. It's very difficult. And then who we are, we are not even a percent of Arjuna. So we think we can chant in our mouth, inside our mouth, without japa beats. It's not possible. That's why even Brahma chants in the japa beats. What to speak about us? Even Brahma chants in japa beats. And if you see, even Shiva has a japa beats. Even they chant in the japa beats, the Hare Krishna mantra. And we should not. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant in the japa beats, right? Even Prabhupada used to chant in the japa beats. We should also chant in the japa beats because we should chant loudly and we should know how much we are chanting. We should not mentally, Krishna says every time you remember me. But when it comes to the sadhana part, you should follow what Acharya says. Krishna says, Satatam Kirtayantam. Every time you chant my holy names, that should be our consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness, right? Thinking about Krishna 24 hours, that is Krishna consciousness. But when it comes to sadhana, then you should do whatever Prabhupada has told us to do. Chanting 2 hours daily, that's the 16 rounds, following the 4 regulatory principles, doing services, reading Prabhupada books, everything are part of sadhana. Attending Mangalarati, attending Bhagavatam class, all these are activities in Krishna consciousness, and these are favorable in intention to please Krishna. We now here when the term comes pleasing Krishna, the best part we can take an example is the bhoga offering, right? When we have to offer the bhoga to the Lord, or when we are thinking of preparing bhoga, preparing what bhoga I should do today. So we first think what I like, not what Krishna likes, what I like, right? It's not it may be very rajasic or very tamasic, but you should not offer that to Krishna. Krishna's food is very sattvic. So what is the intention behind doing your activities? Is it for your sense gratification, or is it for Krishna's sense gratification? So we should see what is the intention behind our activity, and we should not speculate on our own. We should see what Shastra says. So what Krishna wants from us, right? That is very important. Shunyam, that is devoid. Devoid from what? That is all other desires than to please Krishna. Anavritam, uncovered by the jnana, karma, and adi. That means other things. That is all kinds of material desires are to be thrown out. So now, how can I achieve this? Right? It feels very difficult, right? All material things have to be thrown out. Desires for material things. But I have desires for material things because I was in this material world for so many janmas, and now suddenly leaving it, it's not possible. So how can I do this? Even though he is sometimes engaged in the sense enjoyment, my devotee knows that all sense gratification leads to miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities. So now Krishna in 11th canto, he's saying that in Bhagavatam that although, right, I said we are in this material world, we are sometimes in Krishna consciousness. People think I'm always in Krishna consciousness and suddenly Maya will drag me down. Not like that. We are in Krishna, we all are in Maya consciousness. Sometimes we go through Krishna consciousness. Sometimes by the mercy of Guru, we might chant, but that does not mean I'm fully in Krishna consciousness. That's why the patience, that dhairya is very important. That means you should have patience to get that stage. We still don't know what liberated stage is, right? We see deities, but we still don't have that ecstasy while seeing the deities. We chant the Hare Krishna mantra. We get tears out of distress, but we are not getting tears out of love for Krishna. We are not getting that. Our mind whimsically thinks like that. So sometimes we may fall into the sense enjoyment, but devotees know that if you do sense enjoyment or sense gratification, you will be miserable. The condition will be miserable after that, right? How is sense gratification in this material world? It's like achieving the chewed. Right? We are doing this material sense gratification so many years, so many janmas. We are doing the same thing: birth, death, old age, and disease. Same sense gratification: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. Is there any difference? No difference. But when we come to devotional service, we can identify what is wrong and what is right. We have that much strength in the initial stage, saying that this should not be done by me, this should be done by me according to the Shastra and Guru. That much a devotee comes to know that what he has to do and what he has to not do. And suddenly, if he does anything wrong or anything for sense gratification that is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness, he feels ashamed of it. He feels, oh, what I've done, Krishna, this is very wrong. This should not be done by me. I'm sorry. He tells that. He feels that he has done something wrong. If you are not feeling that I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm enjoying sense gratification and I'm not doing anything wrong, that means there is your heart is not still softened. It has to be softened. Then only Krishna can Krishna, although he is there as Paramatma, but we are not able to recognize him as a Paramatma in our heart. So till that mercy comes, we have to beg for the mercy. We should cry for the mercy. So although tears are not coming, we should still try to get that tears, that why my tears are not coming. So that's a kind of one devotee, he said that I'm not devotees say cry for Krishna's mercy. One disciple, he came and he told, I'm not able to cry, tears are not coming itself, my tears are not coming, that I'm not able to cry for Krishna's mercy. Then Maharaj says that you should cry for tears are not so that the tears might come in your eyes. Now it's not coming, right? For that sake, at least you cry. Oh Krishna, why tears are not coming in my eyes? At least for that, because we should cry for mercy of Krishna. We should cry. Our heart should be softened when you do devotional service. So here as Prabhu said initially, that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So here are some of the examples for all of that. These are the topmost examples. Like for Shravanam, hearing is Parikshit Maharaj, right? He heard for so many days, right? How many days he heard? Yeah. What did he hear? Dikshit Prabhuji, you can unmute. Yes, for 7 days. And
Yes,
what was
Mataji.
it?
For 7 days, he did not even eat or drink water or even sleep. So he was constantly engaged in Shravanam. So what Shukadeva Goswami told, he was just inheriting everything.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. So here about Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Shukadeva Goswami, and who is the best example for Kirtanam? You can answer, Prabhu. Kirtanam. Who is the best example for Kirtanam?
Shukadeva Goswami, Mataji.
Yes, Shukadeva Goswami. Because he said for 7 days continuous about Srimad Bhagavatam, Kirtana. So now these are the most exalted devotees we can see here, right? But now how I can perform here these things, right? As I said, tat tat karma pravartana, then that is there should be enthusiasm and all of those things are said here. But how can I follow that, right? Shravanam, Parikshit Maharaj heard for 7 days without drinking, without eating, and without even the concentration is not here, and he's fully concentrated on about the Lord's pastime there, which is being described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So how can I do that? I don't have that much of thing, because here all are explained is the topmost among all of these things. So I can hear, right? First is hearing. You should hear Prabhupada lectures. You should hear to the classes which are you have been, right? How many of you hear anything and you feel so happy when you hear about Krishna? Anything you hear about Krishna, any lecture maybe, any lecture you hear, you go through the YouTube, you hear. You feel that ecstasy, right? While hearing, that kind of a happiness you get. How many of you get that happiness while hearing about Krishna? You just go through it. When you see a notification, you can just raise your hands. Yeah, so many of us will be liking, right? I feel so happy while hearing about Krishna. And how many of you are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam daily or regularly? You put in the attendance form, I know, but still you raise your hands. How many of you are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam? Yeah, very nice. I thought everybody would be listening to Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Why is this number very less here? Are others not in the class? They have kept their mobiles in some place and they are in other kitchen work or somewhere like that. Is that the same situation in other home? What is it? Because I see. Oh yeah, Chitra Mataji. Yeah, it's nice that you on your cameras. Very nice. Yeah, so yeah, so you should hear to Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Daily, on daily basis. What happens there? We may not be like Parikshit Maharaj, I can't drink, or you should have, you should have the love for Krishna. But then daily basis, that means you have really have an attachment to hear about Krishna's pastimes, right? People, they just jump to to the 10th canto, but Prabhupada says the first canto is like a lotus feet of Krishna. First two cantos are there, no, of Srimad Bhagavatam are like lotus feet of Krishna. So anybody who has the full set of Bhagavatam in their home, we really congratulate you, because Krishna is in your home. It is said Krishna in Grantavatar is in your home as Srimad Bhagavatam. So you should be really fortunate to have Krishna in your home. So even first canto, if you have in your home, then it's lotus feet of Krishna has entered inside your home. So having a hard copy is always good. That's why I'm saying, right? Prabhupada always appreciated that you have a hard copy, because during his time there's no soft copy, and you can't scroll the screen for more than 10 to 15 minutes, I suppose, because it becomes very tiring for your eyes and you will get stressed. So hard copy is the best. You can feel the pages in the books. So if you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you're reading it daily, and if not reading, at least you're listening it daily, then a congratulations, a big haribol to yourself, because you're really advancing in spiritual life, because you should be attached to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, or any lecture being describing by a authorized personality about Lord Krishna. So congratulate yourself for that. Next is Kirtanam. Next comes chanting. Now, first, while hearing, without knowing the glories of chanting, although you might be chanting for the force that your level 1 teacher told you to chant, and still now I'm chanting. You may not know any philosophy. One day you will leave that chanting and go away. But if you hear the glorification of chanting, and you will be convinced that this chanting will help me in going devotional service, then you will chant more. So Kirtanam, that is glorifying the Lord. Whatever you are heard, right? Whatever you hear, you're glorifying. Now, whatever I say in the class, or you hear in any of the classes, either level 1 Bhakti Sadachar or Bhagavatam class, you hear, right? When you hear and you tell to others, right? You have the tendency. People have the tendency, what they hear, they'll tell to others. When you're telling, that means you're glorifying Krishna, because you have understood something today and you are told to another person. That means you're glorifying Krishna. That is also Kirtanam. And reading Prabhupada books loudly, not just in the mind, reading Prabhupada books loudly that you can hear yourself, is also Kirtanam. Okay, chanting, reading, and discussing about Krishna consciousness is also Kirtanam. Next is Vishnu Smarana. When you hear and speak, you remember in your mind. So that is Vishnu Smaranam. You are remembering here Krishna. Here only Smaranam is not given. What is that word? Prahlad Maharaj says Vishnu Smaranam. Listening about or remembering Krishna, remembering Vishnu every moment. Next comes Pada Sevanam. Now, Pada Sevanam is Mother Lakshmi. So how can I go to the lotus feet of Vishnu and serve him? It's not possible. So what is the easiest way to do Pada Sevanam? Can anybody tell me? Yes, Saurabh Prabhuji.
Yeah. So following the directions of the devotee, and doing the service in favor of any devotee, that will indirectly serve Krishna.
Okay. Now, specifically Pada Sevanam, what does that mean here? Whatever you have told Prabhu, that's nice. Chitra Mataji. I can't hear you, Mataji. You're not able to hear you, Mataji. I don't know.
Yeah, Mataji. Yeah.
Ramesh Prabhuji, you want to
Mataji,
answer?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
We can do the offering of flowers, etc., to the lotus feet of, means to the Satchidanand Vigraha of Lord Krishna.
Okay, that means the
In that
Vigraha.
way, we can do
Okay, that's the one thing. I'll take everybody's answers now. Neha Mataji, how can I do Pada Sevanam to the Lord? Om Prabhuji, you muted yourself.
Hello, yeah, Mataji. Offering flowers and tulsi to lotus feet of Lord Krishna.
Okay, yes, that may be the thing. And Dikshit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, to please Lakshmi Devi and beg to serve Krishna Mataji.
Okay, but how can I do it practically? Daily? How can I do it? That time we get after going back to Vaikunta, but now in this material world, how will I do it? That is circumambulating the temples, circumambulating the tulsi, right? When you are circumambulating or when you are going, right, padyatras, what we do, padyatras, right? Those things are when you go to the dham, Govardhan parikramas, what we are doing, parikramas are actually serving. When we use our legs, in service to Krishna, it becomes Pada Sevanam. So yeah, offering flowers, offering tulsi at the lotus feet of Krishna is also kind of Pada Sevanam. But then when we are using our legs in service to Krishna, how will I use my leg? By circumambulating Tulsi Maharani every day, right? Everybody must have. If you are in India, then it's very easy to have a Tulsi pot in your home, and you just have to circumambulate in the evening and the morning time, right? And then when you go to a temple, right, we circumambulate in the temples. So there was a story in South India that I don't remember exactly which temple it is. Temple, in that temple, Krishna is in the Shayana form. Okay, so the Vishnu is in the Shayana form, and an old devotee, he came. He used to always come in the morning and circumambulate the temple. There is an inside corridor, no? Inside the temple, there is one small valley where you can just come round to the the Garbhagriha. So he used to do in the morning. But one day he could not come. He was old person, so he came in the afternoon after the bhoga. After the bhoga, what do the pujaris do? They close the curtain for the rest of the Lord, right? The Lord is taking rest. So after the closing the curtain, this devotee, he went around the it was almost a time when the curtains will be opened. So at that moment he came and he was circumambulating the Garbhagriha. And Pujari, he just got some sound from inside. He did not understand what exactly was happening inside. So he went inside. You should not interrupt the Lord when he is taking rest. But something was not very good in that Garbhagriha. Something was not. He was finding some doubts that something is not good inside. Something has happened to the Lord, and he opened the curtain. Right, he went inside and he saw that Lord, the Vigrahas were turning. The Lord was turning. When he is taking Shayana, he was turning. And he saw why this Vigraha is turning by himself. The Vigraha was turning. And he saw that outside, the devotee of the Lord, he was taking circumambulation. To reciprocate to that devotee when he was taking circumambulation, Lord was also reciprocating. He was also turning round and round. So here one etiquette is that we should not circumambulate the Garbhagriha when it's afternoon time or night time when Lord has gone to Shayana. And during that time, we should not. It is recommended not to do circumambulation, because we realize it or not, Krishna is trying to reciprocate with us, but we are not able to understand his reciprocation. But here the devotee was an exalted devotee, and although he was a poor, very old, Krishna was so much attached to that devotee. He wanted to reciprocate to his prayers. Well, circumambulate, we just don't walk, we pray to the Lord and we walk around. So when we are praying to the Lord wants to answer to our prayers, but we are not capable to hear it. So that's the difference. That's why we don't have love for the deities, because we are not able to hear them. They are not just stones. They are there. We can't see Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani in the deities, because we just think that's just they are dancing in ecstasy. The deities are dancing in ecstasy. We can't see that. They are trying to reciprocate with us. We can't see that. So when you do circumambulation to the deities or circumambulation to the dhams, right, Mayapur Parikrama, Vrindavan Parikrama, when you do that, you are actually serving the Lord by Pada Sevanam. Next is Archana, that is deity worship. They are not just deities, right? Initially, when we do deity worship, we all have small deities in our home, like might be Krishna's small vigraha, or the Laddu Gopals, we do deity worship, but we should have that consciousness that these are not just metal balls or stones. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who has come to your home to reciprocate with you to through love. That's what he says, no? Bhaktyamam, the bhaktya only by devotional service. Then comes Vandanam, praying. Whatever prayers, there are plenty of prayers. Can anybody write in the chat what all prayers were there in Srimad Bhagavatam? What all prayers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam? How many prayers, how many prayers you remember in Srimad Bhagavatam are there? Many of them, they said they are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So many of them must know what all prayers are there. You can write in the chat box till then. So we have to pray to the Lord. Now, I don't have that much love to pray to the Lord. So how can I pray? By repeating the prayers of the exalted devotees. Right? Yes, Gajendra Moksha, very good. Gajendra's prayers, very good. Yeah, Gajendra's prayers. When you repeat those prayers in front of the Lord in the deity form, Krishna hears them and he becomes very, very pleased by us if we pray to the Lord. Then comes Dasyam, executing the orders. Now, executing the orders of Krishna is by executing the orders of spiritual masters. So, Krishna and spiritual master are not different because their intention is only one, right? That is favorable devotional service to Krishna. So when they give us orders, right, Prabhupada took it as life. When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami told him that you have to go to the West and preach in English, he took that order as his life. That's how Dasyam is. Hanuman is the greatest example, right? So Prabhupada is another great example for all of us in executing the orders of Krishna. And Sakyam is friendship that develops when after there is a friendship between you and the Lord, when Lord's mercy is being flown unto you, because till then Lord never reveals to us. When Lord tells, I'm going to reveal you by his mercy, then this can come. Next comes Atma Nivedana, that is completely surrender. So these things can be done through spiritual masters. That is the surrendering to the Lord. Sarvadharman Parityaja. First, we have to surrender to a guru, then we can surrender to Krishna. Yes, many of you have. Okay, what is it? Okay, so yeah, many of you have written in the chat box about the stutis of. There is Kunti Stuti. There is Dhruva's prayers, Prahlad Maharaj prayers, Brahma's prayers, very good. Amrish Maharaj, very nice. Everybody has written these things, very nice. There are so many. Akrura's prayers, right here. Akrura was mentioned. If you see in the previous slide, that in the prayers, Akrura was mentioned. Why? Because when he wanted to, receive Krishna from Vrindavan to take him to Mathura, he saw the footsteps of Lord Krishna in the sand or the mud of Vrindavan. He just saw that before going to his home. He just saw that, and every footstep he was praying beautiful prayers to the Lord, and he was praying and reaching to Krishna. So praying Vandanam is, or bowing down in front of Krishna, that is Vandanam. Then comes the 6 aids of Bhakti, that is Prasidhyati, which will advance you in devotional service. The attitude, Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, and behavior should be Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga, and Sattovritte. So now first is Utsaha, enthusiastic. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. So our execution of Krishna consciousness should be in intelligence, not just emotional. People think that we are just emotional fellows and all of that thing, but actually Krishna consciousness, we should not just be emotional. Oh Krishna, not that emotional. We should know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead through shastras and logic, like kind of a reason you should know. In the Shastra, here, it is mentioned that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you should be convinced that why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not just emotional thing. So here, endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness, means of actions bring success. When you act, that brings a success. It's a nature. Spiritual things never saturate once. So here, that is utsaha. There should be enthusiasm. Sometimes we might feel, I'm chanting, but today my mood is very bad. I'm not able to chant. I'm not able to do any service. I'm not able to read Prabhupada books. Today, my boss shouted at me. My wife, my husband shouted at me. My children were not listening to me. I got angry and I shouted at them, and my mood is very bad. I don't want to chant. Sometimes that happens to us because we all are in material world. But here, although you might lose enthusiasm sometimes, you should act enthusiastic at least. You come to temple, you might feel very low, I don't want to do anything, but still you act as if you are enthusiastic. In that sense, your mind, you act as if you are very enthusiastic to do service today, although your mind is not accepting, because we are godasas, we are the controller of our, we are controlled by our mind. When mind is mood off, right, what we tell mood, that is mind, right? When our mind is off, we don't want to do any activities. When our mind is very happy, we want to do more activities. So that should not be our sense, right? We should have enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. Although you might feel your mind is not good today, at least act like your mind is very good. In that sense, at least you will get some benefit in Krishna consciousness. Although you might not feel, I'm not going to chant today, but I have promised Prabhupada that I will chant these many rounds today. In that way, I will chant the holy name, at least in that sense. Although that day chanting may not be very effective, but still you chant, but still you do work in enthusiasm. You still have to act in Krishna consciousness. So next here is about Yukta Vairagya, right? Here Prabhupada, Prabhupada was translating Srimad Bhagavatam hours and hours in the night. So he was getting old, right? He was already 70 when he crossed the sea. So he was getting old day by day. So disciples could not see it. So one of the disciples, he got a dictaphone, where you can record it and you can extract it later on. So he gave it to Prabhupada. So normally it is said that sannyasi should not be using Mayavadis. Most of the times, if you see Mayavadi sannyasis, they are running far away from all these material things. But Prabhupada used these material things. He used money, right? You see, you see everywhere in ISKCON, you can't see any one ISKCON where nothing is there, very low, kind of a thing. Every ISKCON has wonderful, decorations for the Lord, right? Every ISKCON temple, you see Radha Govinda's pictures some days, and you feel so beautiful they are. So nice decoration they have been done by pujaris in every ISKCON, right? All temples are very luxurious. But that is not for my sense gratification. That is for Krishna's sense gratification. That should be our consciousness. Prabhupada used dictaphone. Initially, that was very famous. So Prabhupada used to translate Bhagavatam. And after translating whole night, he used to speak word to word meaning, translation, purport. He used to speak, and then he used to record it. And then in the morning, his disciples used to write it, whatever he has recorded, because he had no energy to write and he had to translate. He was telling, this is the urgency. We have to do it urgently. I have no time left. I have to do. So in urgency, he had to write. And writing takes lots of time. He knew it. So he started recording it through dictaphones, and see how compassionate Prabhupada was. So that's the thing here. Yukta Vairagya. You have lots of money. You have dollars of money. Many pounds you have. Then give it to Krishna. Give it to Krishna. That's where, right? Lakshmi belongs to Krishna. So you should give it to Krishna, because although it's very difficult for us to do it, but still you think that you got this opportunity. By whom? Krishna says, I'm the energy of the energetic, I'm the intelligence of the intelligent. So I am intelligent, I am energetic. By whose mercy? By Krishna's mercy. So whatever I have earned, it is for Krishna's mercy. Some part of it I may take it for my health and my personal, benefits, so that I will serve. If my health is not good, I won't, save 1 rupee also. But my health is getting, deteriorated day by day, it's not good. Then you should take care of your health, so that tomorrow morning I'll get up in the Mangalarti and I chant the holy name of the Lord. And that's how Yukta Vairagya is. You're using this body for Krishna. You're using money for Krishna. You're using intelligence for Krishna. You're using your talents for Krishna. That's how Yukta Vairagya is. Then comes Nishchayat. Now, what is Nishchayat? That's the confidence. That is confidence of Krishna's mercy plus endure. You're doing something, but you don't have confidence in it, then it won't work. Sometimes some disciples said, Prabhupada, I'm chanting for so many years, but nothing, I'm not getting any ecstasy. I don't think so it will work on me. Prabhupada said, you don't have trust in the process, you don't have confidence in the Krishna consciousness movement. He said, yes, then it should work. It takes time. It's not one day duty, one day thing. People are there in the moment for more than 50 years, and they are still doing Vaidhi Bhakti, and they may not be doing it. Some sannyas in Vrindavan, sannyasis, they are already liberated, they need not do, and they were disciples of Prabhupada, and now they are 70 plus, right? And they need not do all this Mangalarti attending and everything. They can do it in their, whatever ashram they are in, they can do their, chant their rounds and be comfortable in their ashram. But sannyasis in the morning, if you see Mangalarti in Vrindavan or Mayapur, they come to the Mangalarti. And one of the sannyasis, he did not even miss one Mangalarti in his entire life after coming to Krishna consciousness. Till now, he is a sannyasi. Till now, he comes to Mangalarti, he attends Mangalarti, and he every day he sees Radha Shamsundar, and he chants 2 hours sitting there in among the devotees. Every day his life is like that. He did not do this. He is already he has passed through Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and he has reached Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, but still he is doing, because it's the order of Prabhupada. And there should be patience in us. So many years they are doing, and they're not fed up. And we are thinking, today I'll do, tomorrow I should get Krishna Prema. It's not possible. Confidence should be there. That does not mean, oh, tomorrow I won't get Krishna Prema, that means I won't do Krishna consciousness. Confidence should be there, plus endure should be there. That means you should try to get that. If we are convinced, we act accordingly, right? As I said, that if you don't have confidence and you're simply doing, then you won't do it for more time. You may leave it anytime. Like some people, they tell that I'll chant, I don't want devotee association, I don't want to hear lecture, I'll just simply sit and chant my rounds. They will fall down. Some of the people were there, some of my colleagues, they just told, I'll just chant and I don't want devotee association. They never attended after that. They never came into the group meetings. They never hear the lectures of devotees. They just tell, I'm just chanting. But after sometimes we came to know that they are not even chanting now. They are busy in their material life. They don't come to any of the classes. They don't come to temple. They're busy in material life. They left Krishna consciousness, which is very, very, it's very rare. Krishna consciousness is very rare. But if we are not following what is given to us, then it's waste of time. You're just wasting, because you will fall down one day. So that's why you should be convinced. And for that convinced to come, you should read Prabhupada books. You should hear Prabhupada lectures to get convinced. And develop in association of devotees. As I said, simply chanting won't work. So there is devotee association. There are ABCD in Krishna consciousness. A stands for what? That is association. A stands for association of the devotees. B stands for, what is it? That is reading books of Prabhupada. Okay. Yeah, somebody wants to answer this? Nima Singh Mataji. ABCD of Krishna consciousness. Do you remember? Dikshit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji. So A for association with devotees, and B for books, reading Prabhupada's books, and C for chanting, and D for diet, E for etiquette towards Vaishnavas.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. So, as Prabhu told, A for association. So, association is very, 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 very important. You should be associated with devotees. Now, what kind of a devotees will be dealt in the fifth, text of this? There are three kinds of devotees, right? Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttamadhikari. So, we should always seek knowledge from Uttamadhikari or Madhyamadhikari. We should give association to Kanistadhikaris, and we should always try to get knowledge from elder Vaishnavas. So association of devotees, and each devotee has a different dealings to do with. So every devotee is not in an equal position. There are Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttamadhikaris. So association according to the levels has to be done. So develop the association of devotees, and then there is B for books. Read Prabhupada books. Read. Try to read by yourself. Swadhyay. Swadhyay. That means you should read by yourself. And you should read loudly, because after reading some lines you feel asleep. That's tendency for us. But then when you read loudly, then you get that hearing for your own ears, and surrounding also people can hear what you are reading, right? So that's the thing. And association, book reading, chanting. Loudly chant the holy name of the Lord. Prabhupada says you should never, whenever you are free, just put the hands in your beadbags and chant, start chanting. Prabhupada used to do the same thing. Whenever he was free, you will never see a Prabhupada picture without a beadbag. There will be a beadbag around his neck. There will be, because as soon as he gets time, he starts chanting. So chanting should be there. We are in office, we are having so many work. When we are free, although we may not have chanting beadbags, at least you can buy some clicker, or you can just chant in your mind, or Prabhupada audio of chanting, Hare Krishna Kirtan, you can start hearing, right? Chanting and Kirtan. D for diet. Have prasadam daily. So whatever you do, offer it to Krishna. If you are not doing, you are in level 3, I suppose that you all are offering prasadam to Krishna. If you are not doing, at least, or if the condition around your home is not favorable, at least you try to cook something for Krishna. At least fruit can be given. Water, right? Best thing is water. At least you can give water and put some tulsi and drink that water. Give it to all family members, or mix in the drinking water. Jug will be there. Mix in that, everybody can drink. That is also Krishna Prasad only. But if you are cooking and offering, that's best. So consciousness will be best. And as you said, E for etiquettes. That's what dealings with devotees should be there. Then comes story of bird's egg. So this is a story which is given in the purport. You can all read there, that about the Garuda and the small bird. What happened? Anybody knows this? Because this is once said in Bhagavad Gita also. This bird story, the Garuda and the bird and the eggs of the bird. Anybody remembers? If you have read Bhagavad Gita, you can come to know about the enthusiasm of a devotee. We'll quickly wind up these things. If you are not remembering, I'll only tell. So, what happened? There was a bird. Chitra Mataji, you remember? I'm not able to hear you, Mataji. I don't know. You're speaking, but I'm not able to hear you. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, Mataji. I'll give the chance to another one for now. I don't know. Try to reconnect or something, Mataji. I'm sorry for that. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Is it that swallowed by the bird's egg was swallowed by the ocean, and the bird, she
Yes.
went continuously to take off the water from the ocean, and like everyone told her that what a mere bird can do to such a big ocean, but her devotion, she said, whatever, I'm going to make a difference. And seeing her effort, the god came and like threatened the ocean that to return the eggs, or else he would punish the ocean. That way the ocean returned her egg, and that's the devotion, if that's true. Mataji.
It's not God, it's
Krishna.
Garuda. Garuda who came. Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Garuda, yes.
So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So here, as Mataji
Hare
told
Krishna.
about the story of this bird, that a small bird, she kept the eggs in the seashore, and what happened? The ocean, right? And the ocean, it's a Purusha, like it's a sorry, it's a ocean, Samudra Deva, right? He came and swallowed those eggs, and he tells whatever is in the seashore is belong to mine. So egg, when bird, when she came back, she saw her eggs were missing, and she knew that this can be done by only one person, that is the Samudra, that is the ocean. And she saw that the ocean has swallowed her eggs, and mother is a mother. Whatever happens, she tells that if you don't give me my eggs back, then I'm going to swallow you. Now this bird is a sparrow. Now think how small is a sparrow and how huge is the ocean. And she still says, I want to swallow you. And ocean starts laughing that, how can you do that? I'm such a huge person and you can't swallow me. She, with a small beak, she started sipping one by one water, and she started. And some of the birds they saw and they went to Garuda. And Garuda is the charioteer of Vishnu. And he heard and he was so happy with her enthusiasm and her confidence that she will get her eggs back. So Garuda came there. When Garuda came, Samudra started trembling because he knows that this is a devotee of the Lord. And once the devotee declares something, the Lord's wish will sanction it. So Garuda came there and he asked the bird. Bird said the whole scenario, and Garuda got very angry and he told, now what this small bird you are speaking about? I will swallow you. And Samudra, he knows the capacity of Garuda, and he knows this, even this one wing, if he flaps one wing, entire universe will get darkened. That power the Garuda has, and he knows that this power can destroy my whole water. And he gives with respect all the eggs of that bird and gives it back to that sparrow. And Garuda was so pleased. So now we are in this bird's position, right? We are not very exalted devotees. We are like this small bird. We are trying to do something in Krishna consciousness, and mercy comes like Garuda to us. When Krishna is pleased by our activities, mercy comes like Garuda. That means he'll help us to get out of this material ocean. That is by a guru. So guru's mercy was there to us. Then only we came to Krishna consciousness. If Prabhupada's mercy was not there, then we would not have come to Krishna consciousness. So next comes the ideas, that is the patience and steadiness. And best example is Prabhupada himself. Prabhupada had patience for 50 years before going to America. He waited for that day when he goes to the West and preaches. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami gave 50 years back order to Srila Prabhupada. He tried in India, nothing worked. No Indians were supporting him. His own god brothers were not supporting him in preaching Krishna consciousness. They were in their own dealings. So then Prabhupada, one day somehow, if you read Prabhupada Lilamrita, you come to know And that's really heart touching, that how Prabhupada, how much merciful a person can be, how much compassionate a person can be. That's the best example of Prabhupada, because we didn't have any qualification to get Prabhupada. We didn't have the qualification to get Prabhupada, but Prabhupada came for us out of compassion of Krishna. Here, Prabhupada, among the hippies, he had no room to stay. He had nowhere to go in America, left or right. He did not know. As soon as he landed in New York, the Boston, he did not know where to turn, left or right. He was alone. He did not know anything, to go, where to go, what to go. But Krishna guided him. Patience was there. At the age of 70, when we all think of retiring, oh, I'll sit in the home and enjoy. Prabhupada went outside. He could have ended his life in Vrindavan, and once we end our life in Vrindavan, we are back to Godhead. But Prabhupada said, I alone don't want to go back to Godhead. I want to take everyone with me and want to go back to Godhead with everyone. And that's how Prabhupada was compassionate. And he was so patient. These hippies, the hippies or hippie revolution was going on, and devotees, the persons who were coming to Prabhupada, they did not bother about what Prabhupada was saying. They were not listening to lectures, and Prabhupada did not do lecture in the beginning. He was patiently waiting for them to come to Krishna consciousness. He was patient, right? How much patience we have? How much patience we have? Prabhupada had patience for 50 years before going to America. After going to America, he has patience, and he waited for those hippies to turn into devotees. He waited, right? So many devotees, they didn't even know how to wear dhoti kurta. They were doing so many mistakes. They did not know how to do duty worship. When Prabhupada was there and here, they were all, naked in front of Prabhupada. They did not know anything. Prabhupada waited that Krishna will reveal the secret of Krishna consciousness to them. So how much patience do we have? We don't have that much patience. No, executes Guru's instructions depending on Krishna's and Guru's mercy. No matter what, right? No matter what happens, there should be patience. We don't have patience itself. We want everything immediate. That has become our lifestyle. But Prabhupada, that's why I tell, right? That's why many of the devotees that tell, read Prabhupada books. That's very important, because we come to know heart of Prabhupada when we read Prabhupada books. Tat karma pravartanat, regulation, the regulatory principles, executing the regulatory principles, continuous cultivation of activities in favorable to Krishna. We already understood what is favorable to Krishna. That is given in the Shastra, and Guru reveals to us. And Prabhupada tells, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, no illicit sex. So when these regulatory principles are given to us, when we follow those regulatory principles, then it's very favorable to us. So one is niyama and another one is yamas. So niyamas means positive activities. That is 9 processes. As you said, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. There are 9 positive activities. And there are yamas. There are 4 regulatory principles, right? Which is intoxication. We should not do intoxication. That's unfavorable. Gambling, we should not do, unfavorable. Meat eating, unfavorable. And illicit relationship, that is outside marriage, external relationship, that is also unfavorable in for devotional service. What these 4 results in, what does intoxication results in, what does illicit sex results in, what does gambling results in, and what does meat eating results in? Can anybody tell? If we don't follow these 4, what will it result? Each one has one things. What are those? Yes, you can raise your hand. What happens when you do intoxication? There are 4 pillars of dharma. What is that one pillar which falls down when you do intoxication? Anybody knows? Anybody has already heard about these things? Okay, yeah. So I'll ask this in next class again. So before that, I'll tell intoxication. When you do intoxication, there are 4 stambhas of dharma, that the 4 pillars of dharmas, that is, one is truth, satya, truth. Then another one is meat eating, mercy. When you do meat eating, the mercy factor dies. You can't give mercy to another person when you yourself are killing animals for your taste buds of your tongue. So you can't do that. Then comes illicit relationship. That is shaucha. That means you can't be clean in the mind and in the heart. So that is illicit relationship. When you are in illicit relationship, your saucha or the cleanliness factor goes off. When you are doing gambling, you can't be truthful. When you are in gambling, you can't. That is the satyam. Then comes intoxication. When you are doing intoxication, you can't actually do anything productive in that sense. So there are the 4 things which are breaking these 4. If you break these 4 regulative principles, the 4 stambhas of dharma will break. So that is yamas, unfavorable to devotional service. Then comes sangatyaga. Now, Sangatyaga means worldly minded people, atheists and Mayavadis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavada Bhashya Sunya Hoya Sarvanasha. If you are hearing Mayavada Bhashya, then your spiritual life is gone. You are Sarvanasha. Then comes sense enjoyers, right? As I said, atheists, Mayavadis, and Karmis cannot understand Krishna. So one whose senses are not in control of himself cannot understand Krishna. Those who fond of sense enjoyer and womanizing, right? Most of the Kali Yuga people are both. They are on the basis of sense enjoyment and womanizing. So you should not associate with these people. You should not associate with atheist or Mayavadi sense enjoyers, those who are fond of sense enjoyment and womanizers, hypocritics. You should not associate. Now, you are in this material world and you have to deal with all these people. So it should be like a monkey and a crocodile example. So what happens when the crocodile gives an offer to monkey that I will take you for a swimming around the lake, and in the middle of the river, the crocodile says, I want to eat your heart because your heart is very sweet. Because you eat mango every day and your heart becomes very sweet. So I want to also taste your heart. That means I want to eat your heart. What was the monkey's reply? What was the monkey's reply? Yes, Prabhu, what was the monkey's reply?
Monkey told that I have forgot to bring my heart. It is in the shore, the bank. I will bring it back. Please give me in the bank. So I will take it back.
Yes, and what happened in the bank? He jumped off, right?
He jumped out of it.
Yeah, same thing. Like now, karmis, friends, you have friends in the office and all these people. You might feel, they will call you for a dinner and all these things. You will feel that, oh, I should go there. I should not go there. Actually, devotees, if you are there, if you are in Krishna consciousness, you feel that I should not go to all these people. These are all useless. I should not go there. You will feel that if you are in Krishna consciousness, if you are developed love for Krishna or love for hearing about Krishna, you will feel this. So when you are associating with such people, atheists or worldly minded people in your office or in a daily life, associate with them in such a way that you won't give heart to them. Give your heart always to Krishna. Give your heart always to Krishna, but you should not show this to them. You should not chant in front of them. You should not show your bhakti in front of them. You say that, oh, I am busy today, I cannot come today. And slowly by slowly, they will only stop offering you some, worldly things. They'll stop this thing. Oh, that person never comes to whatever I say. That person never listens to me. He's always in his own world. And what is your world should be? Your world should be Krishna. So you should always give your heart to Krishna. Like that monkey, when he went to crocodile, and when crocodile says, I want your heart, what does monkey say? Heart is in my tree. In the same way, when you are associating, or when you are in, worldly minded people, friends group, you should be like, you should not be like an alien person over there. You should be very friendly. But when they offer something, oh, aaj daru pite, oh, aaj, womanizing, oh, today I'll have a liquor, you always tell some reasons, I have to go to home urgently, I have some, I can't come to the party, I'm having very bad headache. Because your heart should be in Krishna consciousness. That 2 hours of party can be used in 2 hours of reading Prabhupada books. That's how devotees do. They should try to avoid those things. Like monkey avoided a crocodile. In the same way, we should also avoid the ill-behaved, foolish outcast. So such people also we should, and whom we should follow. Now these people we should disfollow. We should not follow them. Whom we should follow? Previous acharyas who are expertly in Krishna consciousness. So here, it is said that we should follow Mahajanena Gatastu Pantaha. All these 12 Mahajans, right? All these Mahajans are there, and we should follow like acharyas. We should follow their footsteps in, we should be in association. How we should be association with the Guru? By following the orders of Guru. So in that way, we should follow the footsteps of previous acharyas, what they have done, what Prabhupada was doing. Was he wasting time? No, he was avyartha kala. So he was not even wasting a single second. He was always thinking about Krishna. How can I please my spiritual master? How can I please my Lord Krishna? In the same way, we should follow the footsteps. Always we should try to do what Prabhupada has done. So then the success is assured. So we should follow the footsteps. How we should follow? That is by Guru Parampara. Right? What was that shloka in Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter about Guru Parampara? Anybody recollects? What was that shloka in 4th chapter? Nobody remembers? What was the shloka? Evam parampara praptam nimam rajasya viduhu. Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam. Through parampara, we should know the knowledge. Through Guru Parampara, Bhakti, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Prabhupada, and Saraswati Swami Prabhupada. Then comes Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and Shad Goswamis. Then comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Through this parampara line, if you understand Krishna consciousness, then you will definitely go back to Krishna, because it's the assured way of going back to Krishna. So we'll ask some questions in the now, okay, to you all. Yeah, I have unmuted everyone, so you can unmute yourself. Okay. Yes, text 3. Anybody?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I recite?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasidyati.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. You can mute. Thank you very much. Yes, what are the 9 processes of devotional service in Sanskrit? These are the processes, not the types. Processes. Types is Shravanam Kirtanam. What is the process? But there are the types.
Smaranam.
Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam,
Smaranam, Pada
Archanam,
Sevanam, Acharnam, Vandanam,
Vandanam,
Dashyam,
Dasyam,
Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam.
Atma Nivedanam.
Anybody knows the 9 processes of devotional service? Not types,
9 processes. Yes, hearing, chanting, remembering the Lord,
these are the
serving
types.
the Lord.
These are the types. Processes. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha,
Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema.
Yes, very good. Haribol. Yes, very nice, Savina Mataji. Yes, these are the 9 processes of devotional service. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. 9 processes. 9 types, and these are 9. Actually, these are not processes. These are, I think so. These are stages, right? These are stages of devotional services. Processes and the types are same. 9. What you tell? Stages of devotional service are Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Prema, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. Okay. And what is the meaning of Avashya Rakshibeka?
Definitely
Anybody
Krishna
knows?
will save us. Definitely Krishna will save us.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And briefly describe the 2 aspects. What are the 2 aspects of Tattat Karma Pravartana following? What are the 2 things which are favorable and unfavorable? What are those called?
Niyama and yamas,
Niyama is?
the positive activities. 9 positive.
And Yama is unfavorable.
Unfavorable activities. Unfavorable activities.
Yama
What
is
are the unfavorable
4
activities?
principles.
What are those?
Intoxications,
Intoxications.
illicit
Gambling.
pollution,
Gambling.
meat eating, and gambling.
Illicit sex.
And meat eating. Yes,
And
very
gambling.
good. Yes. So these are the 4, what you tell, things that
Yamas.
are unfavorable. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. So if you have any questions, you can ask. You can raise your hand and you can ask. Dikshit Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji.